Welcome to the Wise Words of Motivation channel. Under the title, Stop Being Overly Kind. Welcome to this video where we will dive deep into Stoicism, a philosophy from ancient times that remains relevant today. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Soren Kierkegaard. This quote sums up Stoicism well. Stoicism is a philosophy that focuses on self-control and courage. It urges us to focus on what we can control and ignore what we cannot. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment to share your thoughts. Be sure to stay with us until the end, as we will cover many valuable insights you don't want to miss. After watching this video, make sure to watch our other video where we cover more fascinating topics. So, are you ready to start your journey toward Stoicism? Keep watching to discover more. 1. Understanding people-pleasing. In today's world, it can be easy to fall into the trap of people-pleasing. We want to be liked. We want to be accepted. So, we try to become the person we think others want us to be. But Stoics tell us this is the road to misery. As the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, if you are happy because of what people say, you will also feel miserable when they say something negative. This means that true happiness comes from within, not from others' opinions. So, how can we stop trying to please everyone? Stoicism offers us some practical tools. 1. Remember that you can't control others' opinions. People will think and feel what they want, regardless of what you do. So, don't waste your time trying to influence that. 2. Focus on what you can control. You can control your actions and reactions. This is where your energy should go. 3. Live according to your own values, don't live by others' values. Discover what is important to you and live accordingly. 4. Learn that you don't have to please everyone. It's natural that not everyone will like everything you do. This doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. This is Stoicism and understanding people-pleasing. It invites us to stop trying to please everyone and start living according to our values. It urges us to focus on what we can control and ignore what we cannot. It calls us to live with ethics and honesty. Finally, it encourages us to practice daily reflection. Are you ready to start your journey toward Stoicism? 2. What do Stoics say about realism? Realism is one of the foundations of Stoicism. Stoics believe that life is neither fair nor unfair, life simply is. This means accepting facts, even if they are difficult. As the famous Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for them to happen as they do, and you will be happy. This means Stoics see the world as it is, not as they wish it to be. They accept facts, even the hard ones. They accept that life isn't always fair and that bad things can happen to good people. But instead of feeling anger or sadness about these facts, they accept them and learn how to deal with them in the best way possible. Realism also means that we see ourselves as we are. We don't pretend to be better or worse than we actually are. We accept ourselves, including both strengths and weaknesses, and in acceptance, we find peace and happiness. This is Stoicism and realism. It calls us to see the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. It invites us to accept facts, even when they are difficult. Finally, it encourages us to accept ourselves, including both strengths and weaknesses. Are you ready to start your journey toward Stoicism? 3. What happens when you're not authentic? Stoicism considers honesty and transparency among the most important values. When we hide our true selves, we create internal pressure. We hide who we really are and pretend to be someone else. This can lead to feelings of stress and anxiety. As the famous Stoic philosopher Seneca said, life is happy when it is in harmony with its nature. This means that we should live our lives with honesty and transparency. We should be honest with ourselves and with others. When we are honest, we live a more peaceful and comfortable life. We don't have to worry about whether people will discover the truth or not. We don't have to worry about maintaining a lie. Simply put, we live as we are. However, being honest can be difficult. It may be hard to admit facts we don't want to face. It may be difficult to acknowledge our mistakes. But Stoicism tells us that honesty is the path to freedom. As Marcus Aurelius said, the least that is necessary is a life without deception. This is Stoicism and what happens when you're not authentic. It calls us to live with honesty and transparency. It invites us to admit the facts, even when difficult. Finally, it urges us to acknowledge our mistakes and learn from them. Are you ready to start your journey toward Stoicism? 4. Stoic ways to boost self-confidence. Confidence is one of the fundamentals of Stoicism. Stoics believe that confidence comes from the ability to handle whatever comes your way. As the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, use it to achieve peace and happiness." This means that Stoics see confidence as a result of controlling your reactions and actions. If you can handle anything that comes your way, you will have the confidence to face anything. However, building confidence can be challenging. It may be hard to acknowledge that you are strong. It may be difficult to admit that you are capable of handling challenges. But Stoicism tells us that confidence comes from within. As Epictetus said, "Don't aim to be someone important, aim to be someone strong." This is Stoicism and the Stoic ways to boost self-confidence. It calls us to live with confidence and courage. It invites us to acknowledge our strength and ability to handle challenges. Finally, it reminds us that confidence comes from within. Are you ready to start your journey toward Stoicism? 5. Focus on what you can control. Stoicism considers focusing on what we can control as the path to peace and happiness. As the famous Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Don't waste your time on things you have no control over." This means that Stoics see life as full of things we cannot control: the weather, others' opinions, the economy. All of these are outside our control. However, there are many things we can control: our actions, our reactions, and our thoughts. These are the things we should focus on. When we focus on what we can control, we find peace and happiness. We don't waste our time worrying about things we cannot change. Instead, we put our energy into things we can influence. However, focusing on what we can control can be challenging. It may be difficult to accept that we cannot control everything. But Stoicism tells us that acceptance is the path to freedom. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, use it to achieve peace and happiness." This is Stoicism and focusing on what you can control. It calls us to focus on what we can control and ignore what we cannot. It invites us to accept that life is full of things we cannot control, but there are many things we can control. Finally, it encourages us to accept that acceptance is the path to freedom. Are you ready to start your journey toward Stoicism? 6. Do good things and be honest. Stoicism considers ethics and honesty as among the most important values. As the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "Do good things." Truth and ethics are the most important matters. This means that Stoics see ethics and honesty as the foundation for a good life. If you act with ethics and honesty, you will live a life filled with peace and happiness. You won't have to worry about lying or deceit. Simply, you will live your life as you are. However, living with ethics and honesty can be difficult. It may be hard to always do the right thing. It may be hard to always tell the truth. But Stoicism tells us that ethics and honesty are the path to freedom. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, use it to achieve peace and happiness." This is Stoicism and doing good things and being honest. It calls us to live with ethics and honesty. It reminds us that ethics and honesty are the most important matters. Finally, it tells us that ethics and honesty are the path to freedom. Are you ready to start your journey toward Stoicism? 7. Do some daily reflection. Stoicism considers daily reflection as one of the most important tools for a good life. As the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "Every morning, say to yourself, today, I shall meet interference, greed, and jealousy. But I will see these things for what they are because I know they are neither good nor bad. This means that Stoics see daily reflection as a tool to deal with daily challenges. When we reflect, we stop worrying about the future or regretting the past. Instead, we live in the present moment. We see things as they are, not as we wish them to be. However, reflection can be difficult. It may be hard to sit quietly and focus on breathing. But Stoicism tells us that reflection is the path to peace and happiness. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, use it to achieve peace and happiness. This is Stoicism and doing.